Hello and welcome back to Wesley the Historian. If you couldn't tell already, I am in a different room because I recently moved to a different house. So, that out of the way, in my last video I discussed what caused the American Revolution, and in this video I will discuss the American Revolution's major battles and events. So first, we should talk about the Declaration of Independence, and I do not just mean the written Declaration of Independence. In the Second Continental Congress, delegates decided to form a Continental Army headed by George Washington, a well-respected veteran of the French and Indian War. This is where some of our most famous and important founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin, joined the Continental Congress. On June 17, 1775, the Battle of Bunker Hill occurred in Boston. Although it ended in a British victory, the American patriots dealt heavy casualties to the British forces and encouraged the cause for revolution. That autumn and winter, the Continental Army struggled to keep British forces in Boston. Later that winter, the rebels won their first victory at Fort Ticonderoga and captured artillery. On March 17, 1776, the British evacuated Boston and retreated to Canada to plan an invasion of New York. By June of 1776, larger and larger amounts of colonists came to support the revolution. The Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence, written mostly by Thomas Jefferson, but also had contributions from Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Robert Livingston, and Roger Sherman. Britain was furious and grew determined to crush the rebellion. They sent a large fleet and 34,000 troops to occupy New York. General Howe defeated the Patriots at Long Island, and Washington's army retreated from New York in September. Washington delivered a surprise attack on British forces in Trenton, New Jersey, after crossing the Delaware River with his soldiers. After this swift victory, they won another victory at the Battle of Princeton. In 1777, Britain aimed to separate New England from the rest of the colonies. General John Burgoyne marched his soldiers south from Canada and met with Howe's men. Burgoyne's soldiers devastated the Americans by retaking Fort Ticonderoga. General William Howe decided to confront Washington's troops, moving south of New York. The British defeated the Americans at Brandywine Creek, Pennsylvania, on September 11th, entering Philadelphia on the 25th. Washington planned to attack Germantown, but withdrew his troops and stayed near Valley Forge. Because of Howe moving his troops south, Burgoyne's army was exposed. On September 19th, American General Horatio Gates defeated Burgoyne's forces at Freeman's Farms at the Battle of Saratoga. Burgoyne suffered another defeat on October 7th at Bemis, I believe that's how it's pronounced, Bemis Heights, the Second Battle of Saratoga, and General Burgoyne surrendered 10 days later. After the battles of Saratoga, the Kingdom of France openly supported the American patriots, although they had been secretly supporting them since 1776. They formally declared war on Britain in June of 1778. At Valley Forge, a Prussian officer sent by the French, named Baron Friedrich von Steuben, as well as a French aristocrat named Marquis de Lafayette, came and trained Washington's troops. Washington's army attacked British troops under the leadership of Sir Henry Clinton, who had succeeded Howe, who were attempting to retreat from Philadelphia to New York. The battle ended with the Americans holding their ground, but the British troops still getting safely back to New York. On July 8th, a French fleet led by Comte d'Estaing, sorry for my awful pronunciation, I do not speak French, arrived to battle the British, but their mission failed and there was a short stalemate in the north. From 1779 to 1781, the Patriots suffered from numerous setbacks, including General Benedict Arnold handing his allegiance over to British forces. The British had also occupied Georgia and had captured Charleston, South Carolina. Lord Charles Cornwallis led British troops to defeat American troops at Camden, while the Americans defeated Loyalists at Kings Mountain. The American commander in the South was replaced by Nathanael Greene, scoring a victory in South Carolina. By late 1781, Greene had forced Cornwallis to the Yorktown Peninsula. George Washington, alongside French General Jean-Baptiste de Rochambeau, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Once again, I cannot speak French, so excuse my pronunciation. Moved around 14,000 troops to Yorktown, even further supported by 36 French warships. Cornwallis surrendered on October 19th. Despite this important victory, there were still British troops occupying Charleston in New York. However, Britain finally got their troops out of Charleston and Savannah in 1782. The Treaty of Paris was later signed by British and American negotiators, and Britain formally recognized American independence. The fight was over and America stood triumphant. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. My next video will be about the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson.